Good evening. Yoram, I wanted to elaborate on what you defined as the Israeli ambiance. What exactly it means. Where are you? Can't see.
I think this is the most, it's only the unique ambience that you can get when you are getting on El Al airplane, you feel already in Israel. So you start your journey the moment that you put your step on the El Al aircraft.
Yoram, I allow you to tell the audience, you and I met, I think, a month ago when you hosted the delegation of the presidents of major Jewish organizations in Israel. I allow you to tell the crowd what I told you at that time, because if I say it now, it will sound as a cheap flattering.
So you want me to tell them what you say about our food?
About the sandwich.
About the sandwich, that you got the best sandwich that you ever ate in your life.
Yeah, that's very true. I have to admit that's very true. But I asked you to tell it to the cook. Did you tell it to the cook?
I also told him, and also I have it, by the way, I have it in video here. What you said, I can show it later.
No, we agreed you are not going to show the video.
and I sent the cook also your video. Thank you.
Yeah, I must tell you this is very true. And one more thing about El Al. You know, in May, when you arrive to Israel to load, and they open, now it's not anymore, because now you open it into the sleeves. But before you have the sleeves, you open the door into the open air, and the odor of the what? No, not chiria, of the oranges, of the blossom of the oranges hit you in the face. This is what I would call the Israeli ambiance. It was a very good experience, which now, not because of you, but because of the new terminal, we lost it forever. Maybe you should bring some artificial scent to spread in the airplane upon landing. Okay, thank you, El Al.
Thank you.
And now, without further ado, what does it mean without further ado? Without further ado, we are going to talk with John Somorjai. Let's go immediately into the thing. John, with which company you are?
With Salesforce.
With Salesforce. How long you are with Salesforce?
14 years.
14 years. And you are working with Marc for 14 years?
Yes. And even before that, actually.
Can I see the scratches on the back? No? How is the experience?
Even before that, because we worked together at Oracle as well.
Oh, you worked in Oracle.
Yeah.
And how is the experience?
It's terrific. Marc is a true visionary for the industry, and very great to work with. I learn a lot from him every day. So I couldn't ask for a better boss.
Yeah, well, you know, when he told me that he's going to leave Oracle and that he's going to take all the address book of the world and put it on what is now known as the cloud. At that time, they didn't call it cloud. And I told him, you are totally crazy. Who will be willing to surrender his Rolodex to you, that you will own it, or not own it, but hold it and operate it for him? So my forecast was not very favorable. So who was correct, me or him?
Well, we've been in business now for 20 years, and we've guided now to $16 billion in revenue for the year. So the company's grown a lot. We have 35,000 employees.
Wow.
So I think he won that question.
Yeah, maybe, probably, yeah. This is why he's in London and I'm now sitting here with you. You see, life can be tough for you, not for me. So 35,000 employees, 16 billion.
Revenue this year.
The revenues, can you tell us roughly from what it's being consist?
Well, so what we do, as you probably know, is we provide a platform for customer relationship management. We call it the Customer Success Platform. And we have sales, service, marketing, commerce, as well as a platform, and several of other applications that really encapsulate all of that and allows a company to communicate with their customers in one-to-one personalized experiences in whatever product they're in.
What was wrong with the Rolodex? Why they need...
Well, I think the world is moving very quickly, and so it's important that you enable workers with the most efficient and productive technologies that they can, so that they can get their jobs done really well.
Who in the audience had, at one point of time, a Rolodex on his desktop, a real Rolodex with the 2 wheels? You see, we are becoming an extinct species.
No, I think that what's interesting is actually, the changes that are happening with artificial intelligence and how that will even take, technology and the way people work to the next level. And it is going so rapidly, and it's one of the reasons we're so excited to be investing in Israel and buying companies in Israel.
We will come to it in a minute, Just keep the shameless Zionist propaganda for another 2 minutes. And we will reach into it because this is the major, but I know, you cannot go directly into it. It's not polite. I have to, like a cat, on the...
I'll let you lead the way. Okay.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit compare, please, the management style of Larry Ellison, if there is such a thing, to the management style of Marc Benioff, and if you will be fired after this session, we will look for you for a job. Okay. Hanno, you have the microphone.
So, one of the things that is unique about Marc is he talks about a beginner's mind, having a beginner's mind all the time. And so, when you look at issues, and they might have been issues that you've wrestled with 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's really important that you think things through again. Like, how would you look at it in a different way today? And I think that's one of the ways we've reinvented ourselves multiple times as a company and grown as a company, because he always brings this beginner's mind attitude really to everything we do. So we focus a lot on where is the world going, where is technology going, what do our customers want to buy from us, and how can we make our customers more successful? And that changes every year. So I think that's one of the interesting things about Marc. He's also a very philanthropic person.
Yeah, that's true.
And as you know, we started the company with this 1-1-1 model, where we gave 1% of our equity to a foundation. Employees give 1% of their time, and we also give 1% of our product away for free to nonprofits. And so we now have 30,000 nonprofits who run on Salesforce for free. So it's been really an exceptional thing that's led to, the equity actually has led to over $200 million in grants. And so when I think those are 2 very unique things about Marc that make him a special leader.
Yeah. From what I know him, it's the philanthropy is always on the top of his mind. I think he's more interested in philanthropy than in business, which should worry your shareholders a little bit, But
I think he views it as being very complementary. It's not a zero-sum game, but the idea is that business should be about doing good for others and focusing on the welfare of the world and all its stakeholders, not just on shareholder returns.
I think he wrote a book like 4 or 5 years ago about, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's go to the real reason why the 2 of us are here. We Israelis are seeking love and affection all the time. We are Jewish kids. What we need is pat on the shoulder, and your role is to provide us with this sentiment. So from now on, don't tell me the truth and the fact. Just be nice to the Israeli high tech. Okay? Makes sense.
Okay.
So in how many companies Salesforce invested or acquired in Israel?
So we've invested in 12 companies in Israel, and we've acquired 5 as well. So, thank you.
That's not good enough for 17 companies. You can do better. That's good. You know, we have another 7,000 companies to sell you, so. Okay, why, other than Marc's sentiment to Israel, you know, sentiment, but he has, at the end of the day, he has to justify to the balance sheet. So what is the reason that you invested so much in Israel? Let me put it this way. On a per capita basis, they invested in Israel more than in any other country, right?
On a per capita basis,
Sure.
yes.
We always measure it on a per capita, you know, because we are a small country.
Yeah.
Also on a per capita basis of the area, not only of the number of the people, of the size of the country.
Yeah. Well, I think, so part of it is the engineering talent is one among the best in the world. I think that's one thing. The number of companies, of great companies with innovative technology that start in Israel, among the best in the world.
Go on, you're in the right direction. That's
okay.
Good.
The food. Did we talk? You talked about the food.
Now we
love
talk.
The food. No, I would say, you know, it's really what it really comes down to is the talent, the innovation, and it's among the best we've seen. So I can go to Tel Aviv and meet more great companies in 2 days than almost anywhere else I visit in the world. And so part of it is the logistics. The country is, you know, it's smaller,
it's compact.
But there's just so much innovation happening. And so we like it a lot. We're going to invest a lot more in Israel.
That's good. Hey. Guys, I'm doing the work, you have to help me.
Yeah, and I would say I am very excited about the LL announcement because the nonstop that United started, it was really a game changer in terms of travel. And when you add in another nonstop from LL, it's fantastic.
Yeah, wait until you enjoy the food. No, really, they took a new very famous chef, which is really doing a great job. You know, I'm expert on the field. How many years you are doing this work of acquisitions for an investment for Salesforce?
So I've been doing it for 14 years.
14 years.
Yep.
And how many investments and acquisition have you done in your career, if you remember the number?
Well,
you can invent a number, nobody can check it.
No, if you look
Just make it interesting.
So at Salesforce, we've acquired 60 companies.
60 companies?
Alone, yeah, in the time that I've been there. And then, you know, I did acquisitions at Oracle. And so, yes, I've been doing this a long time.
How is it to negotiate with the Israeli lawyers?
Really, really not a fun experience, I have to say. But
any Israeli lawyers in the audience?
I think the thing, now that I've done it so many times, I recognize how to negotiate with Israelis, try to hopefully be successful with it, but it's a process, and you have to get used to it, but things don't often move so quickly as a result.
Your last acquisition in Israel?
Was Datarama.
How much did you pay?
Well, we haven't disclosed the number.
It was $850 million.
Actually, it was not, even in the press. So, by the way, that's the one thing. Israeli press always inflates the acquisition price.
Yeah, because we want to be proud of how we screw the other guys, you know.
But
it gives us, it's part of our national ambiance, how the guy feels. This is the Israeli ambiance, you know.
But we paid a nice sum for it.
A nice sum.
Yes.
And can you tell us how much the company, you know, in Israel, the national sport is to make the calculation how much the other guy made. So we have to explore it a little bit. What are the sales of Datarama? Don't tell us anything you don't want to.
So I'll tell you this. So Datarama was one of the fastest growing companies we'd seen come out of Israel. And I think, you know, for those of you who invest in Israel, I mean, you know that a lot of times you'll meet with technology companies who have great technology, but they don't have a go-to-market arm, and they haven't really been able to scale their sales organization. Datarama was one of the exceptions to that. So they were growing very, very quickly, and I can't get into the details on how big they are, but it was really the fastest growing company we had ever seen in B2B software. So,
really? The fastest growing company you ever saw?
Well, we've only been in business for 14 years doing acquisitions. So, but it was pretty.
What
pretty
other
impressive.
companies you bought in Israel?
So we bought a company called Implicit, which does predictive sales analytics. We bought a company called Bluetail, which was also in that in the sales big data and insight space. And those two together are part of our Einstein product, which is artificial intelligence.
You know, you
product that
cannot
we
say
sell.
the word Einstein without paying royalties to the Hebrew University.
Yes, and we do.
Are you paying royalties?
We are, yes,
Okay, good
Yes.
citizens.
yes. We have a good relationship with the university.
You know, we Israelis, we will, any way we can. Tell me what is the Einstein product?
So what the Einstein product does is it brings artificial intelligence to your sales process, your customer service process, and marketing and commerce. And so you can make predictions on what are the customers, for example, that you should be calling that are most likely to buy from you. When you're doing your sales forecast, it can calculate, are you really likely to hit your numbers at the end of the quarter or not? If you're calling in to a customer service rep, it can recommend what's the next best product you can sell. So things like that.
Einstein was a salesman. Sure, he was a salesman. Look, he created something nobody can understand, and he sold it to everybody in the world.
So, yes, I guess I would say that then. I don't know how you respond to that, but
You are
Anyway.
doing a great job. Hey, we have another 4 minutes. Wait. Which are the 12 companies you invested in?
so I'll give you a few names. So we invested recently in a company called TechC, which does augmented reality for customer service. So if you buy a computer or piece of hardware and you bring it home and you can't get it to set up, you can use this service on your phone for an augmented reality demonstration that will walk you through exactly how to set up your phone.
With
So
a live agent who is...
it's all with 3D animation, sort of
I see.
on your phone. And you can also do it with a service agent if that doesn't work, who can sort of walk you through the steps.
Sounds
But that
to
was
me
an
as a
interesting-
terrific way to take control of your telephone without you notice it as a customer.
Well, it doesn't work that way, but that's kind of one example. Another example is,
We are now in Israel very much interested in taking over telephones of third parties. You know, it's becoming a national hobby.
we invested in a company called Bring with 2 Gs that solves
Brain?
that last Bring.
Bring.
It solves it does logistics, and it solves that last mile problem of helping a company deliver what they need to a customer.
How many people you have now in Israel?
Almost 400 now.
400.
Yeah.
And how easy or not it to work with them? What can you tell us about the Israeli characteristic, pro and con?
Well, I think the employees that we've brought on board, many of them came from acquisitions. We bought 5 companies, and they are part of the Salesforce culture. We communicate with them very, very well, very regularly. I think the hardest part is the time zone, of course. So, when you have Israelis on your team, being sensitive to the fact that when you call, a meeting in the U.S. in the afternoon, it's past midnight there, and so, just trying to recognize those things.
How you bridge the culture difference, between, the Israelis speak certain kind of English, but what they mean when they talk to you, it's different than what you mean when you are using the same terms.
So,
For instance, when an Israeli tell you that you are stupid, it doesn't mean to offend you, it means to provide you with...
constructive feedback.
Very good.
Yes, no, I know.
You understand the culture, no doubt.
No, I'm Jewish, so I grew up. I grew up.
So you are
in this
Jewish.
way.
You are both Hungarian and Jewish.
Yes.
That's a very tough.
Yes.
You know the difference between. This is going to be totally non-correct, non-politically correct. The difference between. No, I will do it a little bit more refined. What is the definition of a Hungarian Jew? You know?
What?
A guy who go after you in the revolving door, but he will come ahead of you out of the revolving door. You know it.
So anyway, moving on. The culture, you were talking about the culture. So I would say I understand the Israeli culture very well, but not everyone who first experiences it will get that. And so one of the things we've done is we have cultural ambassadors that we've moved from the U.S. actually to Tel Aviv,
Very good.
who are helping to
very, very smart. This can resolve quite. We are going to talk about it after the session. This is a very good idea. Yeah. In the crowd, we are running out of the time, but with the consent or without the consent of the management, I'm going to spend another 2 minutes. Anybody in the audience who is an investee or acquiree of Salesforce? Do we have anybody in the audience? No. You. Can you come to the stage very quickly? Quickly, run. This is a surprise, not only to you, to me. Get on the stage.
Actually, John invested in me.
In you. Who are you?
Dan Mallin from. My previous company, Magnet 360, received an investment from Salesforce, and then actually we.
And how was the experience?
Well, it was fantastic, of course.
Good.
And they sold the company.
Yeah, we sold it.
Yeah.
We made a nice return.
It turns out that's what the goal is, isn't it?
You are an Israeli?
I am not an Israeli.
So give me the microphone back.
Exactly. I'm a Kohen.
You are a Cohen.
Yes.
You know what we say, what a Cohen is doing in the graveyard, but that's a different story.
Anyway, today I'm in the AI space with,
Yeah, you
with
recommend to sell to them?
I'm always open to offers.
You already sold. What offers you want now?
I have another company.
You have another company. You should talk with him, John.
Okay, we will.
Okay, now, thank you.
Good to see you.
Stay on the coach. Stay on the coach. Anybody in the audience who is looking to raise finance or want to sell his company to Salesforce, raise your hand. Nobody is looking for investment, so why did you come to the conference? Anybody looking for investments and want to talk to John, this is your chance. Or want to sell him his company. Okay, so this is John. What do you think? How did he perform on the stage?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last question, what is the restaurant you like the most in Tel Aviv?
It's hard to pick. Mashia was one of the best meals I had there.
Mashia means Mashiach, I think.
Mashia. Claro was another good one.
Yeah, that's good. But can you say Mashiach? Like in Hungary, Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Good. Claro?
Yeah, Claro was good. The Hotel Montefiore has a very good restaurant. I mean, I could go on.
I see you are spending the Salesforce travel budget very well.
We have to entertain our Israeli colleagues.
Yeah. You see, these are Israeli. They will never entertain you. I mean, they entertain you until the time they have to pay for the check, and then it's your part to entertain them. John, you were fantastic.
Great to meet you.
Your company is really, you are out of time. You think we don't know it? Why you show us this? And now, seriously, your company is really a true friend of Israel. Both Marc and all the staff. You are really, you are what we call in Israel.
A mensch?
No.
Mishpocha.
Mishpuche. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.